Hey, good evening. It's Monday, August 12th. I'm so excited to be back outside again. Uh, Storms, rain, whatnot have passed. Beautiful light, getting close to sunset. Gorgeous sky behind me. When I ask the question tonight, kind of flows what we've been talking about. Where do you find comfort? Where is your comfort? Do we find comfort where there's true peace and true quiet? Or do we find comfort by tuning into the culture's noise? And somehow the noise of the culture, we think it's going to distract us and keep our mind off of all the troubles that we have. God wants us to find comfort in Him alone. And we're going to look at that in just a moment. But our culture, the world around us, the noise of the world around us, it has its places for comfort for us. It distracts us. That's part of the plan. If I get distracted from the things I'm worried about, maybe I'll find comfort in the distraction. So we're always looking to do something different, to be on the move, to follow things, simply because there's something to do. Substances can fit in that category, where we just do things as a minor distraction. It can turn into a major one, but we'll do something, substances. We'll eat. We'll find any number of ways to distract ourselves. We'll look for things that provide a rush. Online gaming, perhaps, where we'll spend hours in front of a screen on some online game, community game. And maybe that will distract us. And we know that that's true because there are millions and millions and millions of people playing these things. Substance sales are through the roof. Maybe it's alcohol, maybe it's something else. Maybe it's you're turning to vaping. Maybe you're just turning to anything to distract you. But as you know, there's no comfort there. When we tune into the culture's noise, all that does is produce noise back within us. Or sometimes we listen to the culture's stories. You know, with these marvelous devices that we have, these screens, like the one I'm talking to you on right now, the flip side of that is we get to listen, view with amazing quality and sound. And we have earbuds now, we plug those in and we're getting stereophonic, phenomenal sound. So we'll listen to the culture stories. We'll binge them. And maybe that will be the distraction that I need to bring me comfort. But the problem is when I bring all those culture stories in, when I will play something that will distract me, whether it's a romance, whether it's a crime, whether it's a horror, whether it's a thriller, whether it's something to put you on the edge of your seat, whether it's following somebody on a surfing adventure or a wildlife adventure. And we're going to vicariously experience all these things with us. Here's the problem. When I let the culture stories into my brain, they never leave. That's not just me talking. That's a scientific fact. Our brains have the capacity to store at least, and this is a Scientific American study, to store at least the equivalent of 3 million hours of videotape. That would be equivalent if you sat down and started binge watching right now. You could go for 300 years and still not exhaust the capacity of your brain. And all that information gets in there. Those images get in there. Those disturbing images get in there. And they don't leave. So instead of being a distraction and producing quiet and getting us away, it provides more fuel for my angst and my upset. And those images come back again and again at times when we least expect them because we can't control them. Because they're literally wandering around in our brain. Or we can do what David tells us in Psalm 131, just 3 verses, three short thoughts. Listen to what he says here. Lord, my heart is not proud. My eyes are not haughty. I don't concern myself with matters too great or awesome for me to grasp. He's saying, I'm going to shut out the culture's noise. I'm not going to be distracted by the things that I can't control. I'm not going to be consumed with worry. We talked about storms and hurricanes and climate change last week. Like, we can change this. The scientific record is we can't and we aren't, but we're told we can. And get worked up about that. David says, no, I'm not going there. I'm not going to allow my heart to go there. But listen to what he does say. Instead of binging, instead of substance, instead of distractions, instead of things that give us a rush, he says this. Instead, I have calmed and quieted myself like a weaned child who no longer cries for its mother's milk. Yes, like a weaned child is my soul within me. O Israel, put your hope in the Lord, now and always. In other words, shut out the culture's noise. Open yourself up. Make the effort, instead of taking in the culture's story, the culture's noise. Make the effort to be quiet before God. The thumbnail tonight is this picture of this little child in his mother's breast. And when he's weaned, he no longer goes for the milk, but he still wants to be close like that. Because that's where his comfort is. No words are no words come back and forth. That quietness, and that's what God wants us to be. To know that quietness. I have calmed and quieted myself like a weaned child who no longer cries for his mother's milk. Yes, like a weaned child is my soul within me. That's the effort to shut out, to calm, to quiet the noise, the distraction, the images of this culture, of this world, and seek God. Know that he's there. Remember the passage that tell us that the nearness of God is our good. The hope that we have is here, not in the culture's noise. Where do you find comfort? Turn away from the distractions. Turn away from the noise. And have the courage and the honesty to open your heart, to be quieted by the beauty of God's truth, and to know that peace, like that little child who's hanging on to his mother's breast, because that's where he knows where peace is. And that's where God wants you and me to be. Where do we find comfort? May we find it in God alone. And that's the thought for this night. Again, love your thoughts and feedback, and look forward to being back with you tomorrow. Lord bless you, and you have a great night. Bye-bye.